What's going on? Boys, thanks to our patrons and Fiverr customers, subscribe to our Patreon free for behind the scenes stuff. Arm yourselves, life stuff. I think I realized something today. I've been doing a lot of zoning out recently. Kinda like meditation, but not really, because it's not annoying. My brain isn't working. It almost feels like a weird form of prayer, as if you're on a ship and there are no changes in heading right now, there are no decisions to make right now. You are voyaging through time toward your destination, and you're sitting there, and where you are and where you're going is just there, like a lot of uranium, and it's irradiating you. In life, where I am right now is where I think I'm supposed to be. And what I said, I think a month or two ago, still holds true. I'm not thinking about life as if getting married, building a family, is something that's going to happen, is something that should happen. Because one of the things I've learned about life is nothing works the way you think it's supposed to or think it should. It doesn't work the way, it certainly doesn't work the way people tell you it works or tell you it should work. Life, whatever life is, operates by its own set of rules. And it's your job, if you have a job in this life, to adapt yourself to those rules as best you can once you somewhat understand them. And that's why this marriage drive is receding. That's why this sex drive is receding. But in a weird way. Because your libido is always going to be there. But I don't think it always operates the same way. As in, today, right now, I don't feel a lot of that visceral reproductive libido, like a rooster. I'm not feeling this visceral urge, or like this is a prime drive to get a hold of a hen and fertilize eggs. These days, my libido is more like an abstract thing and a social thing, which is odd. And I'll talk shit about women all day, every day, but it's because I like women and I enjoy them. And that's what I was thinking about today. What's missing about all this? Or why don't relationships happen, but lots of engagement does? Well, as a dude, I think chasing is a part of our nature. Which, if you told that to younger me, that would feel alien to hear, feel wrong to hear. Because I wanted, when I was younger, to be the chased, to be the object. But once you chase the way I think you're supposed to chase, your perspective changes because nothing feels better. But why doesn't chasing feel like it's worth anything? Why doesn't chasing feel satisfying today? I think it's because chasing is a two-party activity. There are two participants, and it's not actually a chase or like a hunt. Chasing feels good only when a woman wants you to chase her. She knows how to be chased. She wants to be caught is another thing. It's not this hunting, domineering thing, or at least it's not supposed to be. It's also not this coquette bullshit thing, which we'll get into. What chasing is supposed to be is like asymmetrical or an asymmetrical competitive game. You're playing ranked with these women. She's playing the chaste role, but she's not running from the table, she is coming to it. And the reason I say it's like a game is there are roles, there are strategies, it's a social thing. That's one of the reasons, even though, and it's sad, but for whatever reason, I think it's supposed to be like this. Even though, at least for me, I think the marriage and family route is a dead end road, at least for right now, it's still fun to match against women because it's an engaging and, even though it can get weird, a pro social way to get to know people. And also, even though it's competitive, it's also cooperative, which I'm sure some people will be or were annoyed in the beginning when I was talking about competitiveness. They would say from the beginning it's cooperative, but maybe it gets a little competitive. In my head, no, it's competitive, but it can get cooperative, or it is a bit cooperative. Because what happens is you give each other excuses to go outside your comfort zones, explore parts of yourself while you're exploring another person, and also you are scaffolding one another as you are performing extravehicular activity spiritually. As a dude in life, women are one of the only activities worth performing. But the issue is, when you're doing that, you are necessarily in danger. Your ego and your emotions are at risk. Your social life could be at risk. Your physical safety could be at risk. For something that should be, or that appears to be, so simple, there is a lot of risk involved, mutually. And that's where the title of this video comes in. At least in my experience, you'll deal with women who will say whatever or do whatever, and the shit women say and do has almost nothing to do with what they're actually up to. You'll run into a lot of women who are signaling matchmaking. They are entering matchmaking. They are searching for a lobby. And that's where you as a dude are lurking around. But then, one of these dumb creatures will put a shot across your bow. That was one way we phrased it a while ago. Or they will throw the glove down. They will matchmake with you. They will do something that indicates the start of the match. And this can happen after a little fucking around, or a lot of fucking around, or with the best women, zero fucking around. And then you, as a dude, you do what you're supposed to do, which is start playing. And then women today, they'll do anything, any number of anythings, except play the match they started. And for a while now, the way I've conceptualized it has been they are seeking attention the way men seek ass, frivolously, wasting your time. And there's an element of that that might even be the, in terms of volume, the most shit there. But I don't think that's the essence of what's happening, and that's why that answer hasn't felt completely satisfying. In the same way, I don't think men know very well how to be men anymore. I don't think women know how to be women either. Because again, I'll shit talk women all day, every day. But what is a woman? Not just a girl, or not just a biologically female entity, a foid. what is a woman? Or at least one aspect of a woman. Courageous. Cowardice is rampant among women today. Here is what I think is happening. I am a malformed, still incubating kind of man. Do you remember before Force Awakens released, before Disney Star Wars kicked off, and hope was high, and people were talking about, or were theorizing about what Kylo Ren was before anybody knew what he was? And one of the theories was Kylo Ren is this Sith in a post Vader, post Sith world who is figuring out how to perform Sithhood totally independently, which makes him a maniac, which would make him a berserker, because there's no structure. This is all passion. He's figuring this out for himself. That's how I feel. I am stumbling around in the dark, figuring out how to be a man. But I've made enough progress. I have a degree of man energy. And I keep running into low-born foids who, by their nature, are responding to the energy I'm putting out, even on a low level. Foids who want to be women, or at least feel the call to ascend to womanhood, or to try. And I'm sure as they watch themselves do what they do, they recognize they're doing something, but when they start the metaphorical match, they don't know what to do, and they're also afraid of trying to learn what to do or to try to figure out what to do. And of course, you could say figuring out what to do is her responsibility, or taking responsibility for what she does or what she wants, that's her responsibility. But asking a woman to take responsibility for anything, that's, if you're banking on that, that's a losing game, that's a losing bet, that's completely ridiculous. So we're going to have to figure out what to do about this, if anything. But let's stay on track. I think they're afraid of playing a game with stakes like that. And that's what the man-woman game is when you're playing it well. Nothing is really going on, but it's the only game that matters. I don't think these foidlets are comfortable with the idea of not having total control over themselves and over the men they deal with and over the entire situation. I think these foidlets are afraid of their own emotions or the consequences of playing a game like this. I think they're afraid of the fact they feel called to it, which is another thing. Because it's not just like a dude doing something resembling dude shit and then women respond, although that does happen. You see the inverse in men too. When a woman knows how to be a woman, it's like literal snake charming. Men respond involuntarily, painfully. But women are weird because they feel intrigued by that call, and they'll half answer it, but they're also afraid of it. I think a lot of women hate what they are and where they are and probably where they're headed. But at the same time, they're so afraid of the consequences of trying to be something more and failing that a lot of them would rather just not play. And that's annoying because it's not like it's not uncomfortable or frightening for the dude. When you're actually playing this game, emotions are intense even on the lowest settings. And on the highest settings, love is debilitating. Or it can be. However, that's part of the price of admission. And admission is worth paying for. It's not just interesting feelings or good loads blown. If we're thinking of this like a theme park, a good opponent or co-op partner, it's like they electrify and animate parts of this amusement park that without them would never be operational. Good opponents and partners can make you, or they can bring online entire aspects of life that don't really have anything to do with either of you. You open gateways to new worlds for each other. And the reason you want to be playing these games, even if you don't marry the first person you play a real game with, is those gateways tend to stay open. That's what I'm talking about. This is one of the reasons I think my libido is still valuable in the condition it's in, is as a dude, women will open up whole new worlds for you, broaden your horizons, and they'll stay broadened. And women get the same benefit from you. Emotional and sexual engagement is a productive thing. Steel sharpens steel. But these things pussy out. Still using some Starship Troopers thinking, although we'll use different words. They don't know what they want. They know they want something, but they don't know what it is. But they don't want any real risk. So they hover. And they hang around. And they're like moths. And I don't know what to do about that. Maybe there's nothing to do about that. I don't know where all the competitive ranked women went. This women are afraid thing has always been a problem, but it seems like it's gotten a lot worse in the last 5 to 10 years. This isn't an answers video, by the way. This is an ongoing issue we're going to have to figure out how we're going to deal with. But the big questions to be thinking about for right now are, how did we get here? What are women so afraid of, or what is the outcome they're so afraid of? We did a bit of discussing on the why, but as we've established before, the why is the least important part when you're dealing with terror activists like these. It's always the what and the what for. I think the reason I was able to matchmake and play real games younger than I probably should have was two camps. One camp is I seemed like an easy mark, and then to everyone's surprise, mine included, I wasn't, or at least wasn't completely back then. And also, in the other camp, I had no idea what I was doing, and I would matchmake with women who also had no idea what they were doing, and then we ended up in serious games. So in Camp 1, it was a predator-prey situation, or in Patrice's examples, it would be a woman shark coming after me, the male penguin, and then it turned out we both were sharks. Oh shit. And then in the other camp, we just fucked up. We stumbled our way into high-level games. Maybe it's an age thing. It's my fault. I've been moving around, patrolling, trying different things, seeing what happens. But we'll figure it out slowly, eventually. Or we'll at least figure out an answer that works for us. And for now, we will cut it here.